You cannot stand by. You cannot sit down. You got to stand up, speak out, and get in the way. Make some noise.
Thousands crowded the National Mall today to mark the 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s historic I Have a Dream speech. And thanks for joining us today. An extensive list of speakers spoke to that packed crowd on the National Mall. Among them, Dr. King's son with a message.
This is not the time for a nostalgic commemoration, nor is this the time for self-congratulatory celebration. The task is not done. Dr. Martin.
And then an anthem reminiscent of the scene 5 decades ago.
We shall overcome the sun.
We begin our team coverage of the March on Washington anniversary with D.C. Bureau Chief Sam Ford.
I have a dream today.
As they did 50 years ago, they came from across the nation with grievances. Some new ones, like how Trayvon Martin died, but some old ones, like the right to vote.
Unencumbered by discriminatory or unneeded procedures, rules, or practices.
Except 50 years later, the protester was the African-American U.S. Attorney General.
It's not 1812. It's not 1912. It's 2013.
For D.C. residents, the day started with a statehood rally, at which they didn't schedule Marion Barry to speak, so he scheduled himself. So they tried to drown him out with Chuck Brown music. They gave up before he did.
Some of them didn't want me to speak. I'm speaking anyway. I'm speaking anyway. I'm speaking anyway.
At an event like this, people flock to the familiar. Anthony Weiner, the controversial New York mayoral candidate.
I don't care what they say about you. Anybody who's willing to stand up for our rights.
An authentic sign from the Civil Rights March of 1963, which Jim Davey of Fairfax's parents had saved. And there were the civil rights heroes, like the white freedom fighter JOAN MULHOLLAND, who marched with her Delta sorority sisters.
The speech is the spirit that we actually pulled it off 50 years ago, and today it's like a coming home party.
I'm very blessed to be here.
And the civil rights icon, Congressman John Lewis, who spoke at the 63 march.
Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty.
The only speaker then who is still alive today.
I feel very good. It's a good feeling to be here.
Back in 1963, John Lewis was the president of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee and the youngest speaker at age 23. 2 years later in Selma, Alabama, he suffered a head concussion after he was attacked by the Alabama state troopers protesting for voting rights. Reporting from the Lincoln Memorial, Sam Ford, News Channel 8.